Hello everyone, DonTheCrown here with a little bit of an update to the Cold Monk. And I think that really the best way to kind of describe what the update to the mapping situation is just to kind of show you a little bit of content of clearing. As you might notice right away that we seem to be, just blowing up a lot of enemies at a time. And this really will take off once we find the breach that's in this map. But we've kind of come across a little bit of content, a little bit of technology, if you would, that was kind of extremely powerful in PoE1 and then completely removed. And now, well, it's back here in PoE2 for some reason, which I think is just really, really silly. And that is basically just the power of Herald of Ice. All of the explosion you're seeing there is Herald of Ice. And the big difference between PoE1 and PoE2 is just how Herald of Ice works. So in PoE2, Herald of Ice is very different because it requires that you use a martial weapon. So here, the requirements is any martial weapon. But what it does is, while active, shattering an enemy with an attack hit, so it needs to be an attack, will cause an icy explosion that deals attack damage to surrounding enemies. And so this does 247% base damage. For reference here, Ice Strike hits for 193. So each Herald of Ice explosion is hitting harder than my main skill. And right now we just have it with 4 supports. So we have Magnified Effect to make it 40% bigger. We have Long Shot to make it do 35% more damage as it gets farther away from me. Cold Penetration to just penetrate cold. And then Ambush to give us basically 100% chance to crit, because we have about 58% chance to crit. So everything is just critting everything, which is pretty cool as long as it's on full life. So basically just going to be annihilating enemies. And that allows you to basically have Herald of Ice do a lot of damage. But Herald of Ice only explodes if the enemy is frozen. We get around that with the Polcirkeln ring here, Sapphire Ring. I believe this ring is pretty cheap. The last I checked, probably like a few exalts. And really, when I first saw this ring, I thought it was trash. It looks pretty bad. Cold damage, a little bit of maximum mana, a little bit of strength. But that last line there, enemies chilled by your hits can be shattered as though frozen, is the magic. This pretty much allows us to get those chain reactions going that you're seeing. If we don't have the ring on, like took it off there, as you can see here, the Herald of Ice doesn't really go very far. Even if we're using like Shattering Palm, we kind of get a similar thing, but that's only for the radius of the Shattering Palm. And so basically the ring itself allows Herald of Ice to propagate itself. And there's really no better example here than to show off in a breach, because breach just kind of has insane amounts of enemies that just keep kind of funneling in. And we can kind of like stall here a little bit to let them stack up. And yeah, they just explode and it just feels really great. I think the best part is if you're doing this on like a really wide open map, sometimes you will like have the explosion just like go all the way out to the edge of the breach, and then it just like rides the line. Oh wow, and we even get a Divine Orb for our troubles. Always a good time here, I guess. And so we're gonna go switch over to the other side just to see how big of an explosion we can get here real quick. One of the problems sometimes is that you just kind of run out of enemies to hit. We use Shattering Palm to kind of close the gap. You just see these really, really satisfying explosions, right? Elites are almost dying. We've been running lots of maps with like Delirium put onto the map, and every time we find one of the bosses, they just kind of get destroyed by the breach if they happen to be in there, like taking over half of their health just from the Herald of Ice explosions. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I have updated the written guide to have a variation talking about this and talking about kind of what we're using in terms of supports. Probably for 6th link, there's like a lot of different things you could potentially do here, like maybe heft or something you can put in there, which increases the maximum damage. Since this is a physical damage explosion, that is then or it's a weapon damage, whatever your damage your weapon is, converted into cold. Heft increases the maximum damage, and then that is converted, is one of the few supports that we can use that actually like kind of goes through conversion, which is pretty cool. But I think overall this is something that's probably going to get nerfed, but hopefully not until after the Christmas break. Hopefully this video helps you out, and let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Go see if you can get one of these rings. I know some people have been starting to purchase them up. It looks like maybe up to a divine now at this point, but the price of the market I think is kind of wild right now. It's like 20 exalted here, 25 there. The order of this doesn't really seem to make sense right now. Like, it's like the trade site doesn't actually sort by exalts or divines. Oh, that's actually something I can show you. So if you're looking for something like this, let's go. I guess we have to log in real quick. So we're looking for Polcirkeln. And normally if I search here, so it's going to show divines. But if I go to the bottom and go to relative and type exalt, and I search, we can see here we're finding ones for 12, 15, 17 exalts, 19 exalts, which is a lot cheaper than buying it for divines. So hopefully this video helps you out. It's a little bonus tip for the people that stay all the way to the end. See you soon.